In my last video, I started work on my library build. It's the start of my renovation of the room that will turn into a library slash study slash dining room in my little house. I moved into this old cabin 2 years ago when I left London and found myself in the Swedish countryside looking at cheap properties. And I've been renovating this one ever since. It's been a journey, but getting to actually making these interior pieces beautiful is really exciting. So the next step is to work with this framework, which I now have, and to start building it out. I want to begin with this little doorway, which is going to get narrow bookshelves or accessory shelves on each side, which I think is going to look really cute. Little ceiling. I'm going to have little bookshelves. Alright, something's happening. First I am cutting the tongue and groove to size for the back and side panels for this little recess. I have to say, most of my time nowadays is just spent sewing. I don't have a table saw, so I cut all the vertical lengths with a jigsaw, which might sound a little crazy, but if you take your time and use a steady hand, I find that it's quite a good tool to cut long lengths. It's also a little less aggressive and heavy compared to using a circular saw, which might in theory be a better tool. I recently upgraded my jigsaw to a better one, and the one I have now is quite stable, so it's a personal preference really. So inside this doorway on both sides I'm going to be creating little nooks. Okay, they're all falling. I just need to make sure that I make them the right size. Oh dear. It fits. Okay, how cute! Also, I put quite a bit of effort into having this backboard align with the board on top of me. Underneath, I'm going to have a cupboard. So I'll have 4 of these. I'm going to attach them in a way that I can't undo it, so I need to make sure it's right. There are so many ways that I could fix this, but I've decided ultimately that the fastest, easiest way is to just fit them with screws from the outside, which, like I said, means that I can't undo this. But once it's in, am I really going to want to change this? I don't think so. So yeah. I'm hoping that's the right choice, because I've been thinking about this for days. Like, I think about it at night when I need to sleep. Think about all the options, but a lot of the options that are nicer just require tools that I don't necessarily have, or just take so much time, and everything is already taking so much time, so I'm trying to make the right decision between time spent on things and, you know, results. So kind of trying to balance my time correctly. Okay, I managed to get this together. It took an incredible amount of time to get this in and to get it in straight. Okay, let's see if it kind of fits. I hope I did it right. If I have to take it apart, I would have an issue. I don't have anything else to put in here, but look at that! It's so cute. It's very cute. They're almost straight. Just good enough. There is an extreme weather forecast. Lots of rain, flooding, wind. I'm not so sure if there is a lot of wind. I think I need to secure my greenhouse a little bit more. I need to add some screws for the cladding, just in case. So I'm gonna do that, and then hopefully it's not going to be too bad. The storm ended up being just fine. It was mostly just a few grey and pretty rainy days, which is good because I still have the enormous tree from last year's storm lying in the back of my garden, which I somehow still have to deal with. I think the next step for me is to prepare this cupboard underneath. I just need to clad it a little bit. Yeah, I need to do this cupboard before I can start cladding this. So figuring out the right steps here. I kind of want it to just be a really nice cupboard on the inside, but I'm sort of lacking materials to properly, you know, have like nice ply interior, so it might just be a little bit messy, which I guess is fine because you're not going to see it. So basically I'm putting in this little floor, which will be the extent of this very basic interior for this cupboard. It will have some of this framing and wall exposed, so it won't be pretty, but it doesn't really have to be. It's a bit of an awkward space anyways. I just don't want to lose the possibility of storing things here because the house is quite small and I want to utilize every little space I do have, especially for things that aren't pretty and should stay out of sight anyways. This cupboard is narrow and deep, and I'm sure I'll end up finding something ugly and awkwardly sized that I can store here perfectly. So I'm struggling to decide which of the two options I prefer. Do I want to align the top row of shelves with this one? And then they're all spaced like these, which means that the top row is shorter than the others. Or do I actually like it being a bit different and spacing the bookshelves on these two sides equally? So I did this, or this. So if I do this, then this one will align with this, but these won't align. And even though I like aligning things, I don't know whether it would actually bother me less to have these shelves spaced equally, because having the short one at the top just feels as though it's going to lower the ceiling visually. But at the same time, having it all aligned is quite nice. You know what I should have done? I split 5 shelves here instead of 4. Because then it wouldn't align with the other shelves anyways. But it's too late to change it now. I think the worst thing is that no matter which option I choose, I don't actually think I'm going to mind whichever one I do, which makes it more difficult to decide because both have pros and both have cons. I don't know. I've just been standing here for ages just looking at this. I genuinely don't know. I think I made up my mind. I spent another night thinking about it, but I made a decision at last. I'm going to space the shelves equally as opposed to aligning the top one with the top of the doorway. I think visually it will look a little bit more informal and playful. So I'm starting by measuring out the shelves into the framework, but before I cut those, I'm going to put in the divider between the cupboard below and the library shelves on top. Because this is going to align with the desk, basically it will be an extension of the desk that will be built against this part of the unit, so I'm going to use the same thick timber. It's the same untreated pine countertop I also used in my kitchen, so it will be a nice continuation from one room to the next. It is quite expensive as a material though, so I'm using leftovers from before and I'm making sure to keep all the little cut-offs. Okay, I have officially run out of screws. I have a few, but I've come to a point where I have to pick some up, and it is Friday, which means that I need to pick them up now because otherwise I'm going to be without for the rest of the weekend. So I'm gonna take my little bike and pick up some screws. I got something. Screws. I hope they're long enough. Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay. Maybe this is a good time to point out that usually if you were to make cupboards, you would essentially create a box and slide the boxes into place. But because I am using tongue and groove, you can't really make boxes that don't move. And because I don't really have the right tools, I am just cladding my framework instead. So, yeah. Also, I'm about to meet a stranger. I don't usually invite people over here, and a few times I have, they were girl strangers. But I have a boy stranger coming over. Anyways, I think his name is Will, and he makes knives for a living and is bringing a chainsaw. So make good choices, people. Anyways, he's British, so it's fine. So yeah, I'm a bit nervous because I don't usually consort with other humans. Okay, no, too big. Cute. I think I can hear a car. Yay! He's here. This is Will.
Hi.
Will does not make knives for a living. He makes spoons for a living, right?
Spoons. Like normal weird people, right? There's a guy from London, Barnes Spoon. Did some videos with him, and it was like normal. Don't look at the camera. Don't say anything weird. Yeah, okay.
No, I want all the weird things. Okay, let's be YouTubers. How do people do that? Oh my goodness.
It's probably super dark in here now.
Isn't that the point so you can't see us?
Yeah.
This is Will. I can't do this. Maybe I should do a voiceover that says like Will is helping me pick up timber.
But he's actually not.
Yeah, and Will likes to carry chainsaws around, so he's gonna teach me how to use one. There you go. Happy days. Show me the skills.
So you want roughly the length of the bar, yeah? If you want, you can do them like that.
Mhm.
If not, you can do it. Like, if you can rest it on your legs, it kind of makes it a bit more safe and secure.
Yeah.
I'm not going to cut it, but yeah, start with it there. The saw, like pivot the saw down into the cut. These will be touching the wood.
Okay.
So then you can just go, you can either like go down with your legs, or you can pivot the saw.
Okay.
And just be aware that your feet are where your feet are, because if you go, and then yeah, so if you kind of stand a bit more stable, is what you got to think is when you go through, you don't want to hit the floor, and you don't want to hit your feet.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to turn this on. It's so tiny. Okay, so. I feel like it's kind of like. So I just keep on going?
You can just like push the saw down.
Can I push it down?
Yeah. If you can, try and keep your head like to the side of the bar.
Like this?
Just so that you're not directly over it, that's all.
Yeah. Okay. Yay! I'm definitely doing like a weird little.
You don't have to have it up on the spikes, you can just use the bar, but the saw will want to pull onto the spikes. Does it feel safe?
Yeah.
Do you want to mark it quick?
Yeah.
So we're going to get you to experience kickback. We'll do it safe way.
Okay.
So kickback is in the top, in the tip, right? So if you come like, stand away from the saw. If you do it like this, so if it kicks it goes across, you can see it wants to go like that. So you can try that and then you can feel how it is. So that's like,
I can feel that.
in effect, reduced kickback. You start the cut like here, probably say on the top, pivot the saw in.
Yeah.
Once the saw is contained in the wood, your kickback risk is sort of eliminated because you're only cutting downwards.
Okay.
So you can go, like I did on that one, you can go in, pivot down as much as you can go,
Yeah.
pull the saw out a little bit,
Yeah.
and then you can cut, hold the saw
Right, and push it down.
and move it down.
Okay.
Do you want to do a cut from one end or the other, and then I'll see if you feel safe. The chain is higher, so you can't cut into the floor. So if you go until the saw is like flat, you can.
Right now.
They're really not breathable, those guys. Then you can go back in that saw cut from this side and go to the floor, same thing, so you can just go down to the floor with the saw.
Okay.
And then you can work along, and then we'll roll the log and we can cut the last piece.
Okay. Good enough.
You feel safe enough?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did it a bit too quick when I first started. It was fine, but...
Do you
can
want
do
me
it.
to cut as well?
Yes, please.
Or do you want to cut?
Do it together.
Yeah?
Yes, please.
So yeah, you can finish the cuts with the bottom of the bar is probably safest for you. I'm going to use a different technique, but
Just what I just did, basically.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah? You can use the top of the bar, but it's a little bit...
I'm not going to do that.
It's not unsafe, but like, it's
Yeah.
maybe not like first trial
Yeah.
technique. Nobody saw that. Nobody saw it.
Except the camera. I'll make sure all of those bad moments in which everything seems to go wrong get edited
Oh, they're the best
as
bit.
the video. second. Probably that knot.
Some of that is going to be the tension as well in the wood. The other thing is like it's quite big cuts for quite small saws.
Yeah.
So it kind of maybe does a couple, and then you need give it a couple of minutes to cool down.
Wait, that one was easy. That was like butter.
It's like a never-ending tree.
Yeah, I know.
Super big. It's a bit big for these saws, really, but. What's happening? Probably going to get all these top cuts and then be out of battery.
That's exactly what I was like, we should have charged the third one.
Probably struggle to cut that because it's wedged between those. We could cut some little steps in it maybe if you had another saw here, and then
Cute.
you could be like a little ladder to nowhere.
Yeah.
Fuck you, stick.
Oh. The happy face is not happy anymore. Huh. Oh! Hello!
Hello, frog. How did you get in there?
Go do your thing. I'll grab it.
Can I have me stick back? Ta. Sorry, little saw.
I did a really bad job at protecting your because of the thing. Should I sit down?
This is lazy hour now.
I can't get through this. There's this thing.
That pinch point.
Do you want to try it?
Yeah, go on. Leave it in there, I'll
Wiggle it. You can wiggle it. Look at you. Woohoo!
Get away, you mosquito.
You can do it. I know, they're like biting me while I'm sawing.
That's the trouble, because it's like you're trying to do something dangerous and they're just like...
Yeah.
Me and my leverage. Me and my old-fashioned techniques of ye oldie, poke it with a stick. Ah!
Mud in my face. Ah! I need gloves. Yeah. Give it to me. Give me the power, sorry.
sitting down at work.
Woohoo!
Right, see if we can get this bit off and then
Yeah.
that might be it. Use your saw.
Yeah.
We're getting further and further down the hill. You could be next door soon. This is some late night tree work.
I know. I mean, it kind of made up for the fact that we didn't do anything yesterday.
Mm.
I don't know why I think this is really funny, but somehow
I don't know what it's connected to.
came to that point where everything is funny.
It's once you get to that point and you're like,
No, we got to that point many
That was
hours
this morning.
ago. Yeah, that was yesterday probably. Look at that beauty.
still like no.
It's just hanging out. Next time you come, it will
Bring
all
bigger
still be
saw.
lying here. Right, exactly where you left it. Oh man.
This probably split a lot easier than you think.
I've
it's quite
never
straight.
tried splitting timber before, so I have no idea.
The trick would be to practice on those small ones,
Yeah.
and then so you can like get some technique, and then go for the bigger stuff.
And I keep one of these as like a... So this is what I learned from doing tree work, is that it's exhausting. But we managed to cut down this entire tree. And I mean, now it's a huge mess, but I've left some longer branches at the end because I might want to use it for things in the garden. So now the next step is to get a axe. But yeah, we managed to cut it down all the way down to like kind of the first 2 meters of the tree. We just pinched in between two massive rocks, so that's amazing. And then I should be able to use this as firewood for next winter when it's dried out properly. So that's thanks to Will. Now I know how to use a chainsaw, and it's actually not as terrifying as I thought it was going to be. It was actually quite comfortable to use it. It does help that there was another person there, but yeah, that was really good. And I have picked up so much timber. I was going to do a large order, but now I don't really have to do that anymore. So for now, I'm gonna go back to doing interior work and finish my my bookshelves. Okay, we're back to making shelves again. I'm working on the library shelves now, and I decided to construct the recess with the shelves the same way I made the doorway shelves. I ordered these really nice pine boards and I'm sanding them down so they can take the stain later on. I'm simply screwing them into the side panels just like before and using some random things lying around to keep the shelf upright. This is me screwing the shelves to the side panels so that I can then slot it into the cavity. I wouldn't necessarily recommend doing it this way. So yeah, I'm just using a couple of things to keep it upright. I didn't do it for the doorway shelves, and that was a pain in the bum to do. And this is a lot easier. Yeah, slightly improved technique, I guess. I have to say, this surprisingly wasn't the worst technique. Now I just need to make sure that it is going to fit in the cavity. I almost feel like a furniture maker now. That's kind of cool. Almost. Okay, it's a little bit imperfect. There's this gap. My shelf appears pretty perfect as my cavity that I didn't make all that well, so it doesn't fit. Look at this! It doesn't fit. These fit. There you go. Have I mentioned that I don't actually have any books? I'm going to put a little door on this bit, so this will be accessible. But I don't quite have the right hinges just yet, so I'm going to keep it open for now. And this looks a bit odd at the front, but I'm going to have a desk come out from here, so that's why it's not finished. doesn't fit. Alright, cut off the little corners. Hopefully it will fit now. But who knows? I am so tired. I'm also hungry. These bits. Okay. I was nearing the end of the week, but I really wanted to finish the doorway shelves. I'm using nice thick leftover timber from when I was redoing the floor and ceiling joists in the entrance. I have a few very small pieces left over which turn out to be perfect for these little shelves. I'm just cutting them to size, and I spent more time than usual sanding them. They were quite discolored and you could see the cuts from the circular blade on the exposed side. So I made sure to take everything back to them being clean blocks. Then I used the same technique to screw the shelves into the sides of the bookcase, which I think turned out to actually be a pretty good way to approach these little fixed shelves. First I made the drill holes into the sides and shelves, then fixed the shelves to the one side, making sure they were perfectly perpendicular, and then I fitted the other side panel on top. Pretty shelf, two sides, and this back panel is going to get a couple of hinges so I can turn it into a door, because I need to be able to access the original wall here. We're almost there. I just need to fix a couple of things. I need this piece here as well. Cool. Okay, I need an outro. I think this is the sweetest thing. These are so cute. So the original idea was to take the existing door, cut the door into two leaves like French doors, and add them here. But I wasn't expecting to like the view from the kitchen to these bookshelves so much, so I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do yet. I have been thinking about adding a curtain instead, but I'm going to keep the option open for now because I haven't made up my mind. So obviously the next step is to continue finishing this bookcase. I was going to first do the desk after finishing this little nook, because those were the materials that I have, but now that I went to the shop and picked up all of this timber, I think I have everything I need for the rest of this room, which means that I can continue first to actually finish this entire library, bookcase, shelf, unit. and then move on to the desk and then the banquette. So that's exciting. That's going to be the next step. One other thing happened. Look at this! I didn't do this. My aunt and uncle came to visit. They were on their holiday and they came by for a few days and they like to do things. They ended up stacking all of this timber, which is really cool because otherwise, realistically, knowing my priorities, it would have still been lying here for the next few months until I got myself an axe. So next video, hopefully, I will have a library.